Hey everybody, Reginald here, Sports Insanity Hour. I had posted a photo of my bracket, but clearly you guys can't see anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to announce the winners of who's going to go advance on by region. Who's going to advance to the Final Four, up to the Final Four, because I think on the photo you are able to at least see my national championship matchup, which is going to be Notre Dame and Gonzaga. Notre Dame and Gonzaga will, in my opinion, according to my bracket, will be facing each other in the national title game. And my national champions is Notre Dame. So, Uncle Richard, there you go. So there you go. And I didn't pick it for him. I just feel that they're gonna win. So, but yeah, my national champions is Notre Dame. They will be winning. So, but I will be announcing everyone who's advancing by region on my bracket because I won't have the chance to do it. Might as well get out of the way before the first four starts, which is tomorrow night. Can't wait. It's an exciting time in this year where we have the NCAA Tournament starting off. It's just great. And the fact that St. Johnson makes it even better, even though they're not going to win anything. So let's start with the Midwest region. Kentucky is going to be facing whoever wins one of the first four matchups, which is, I believe, it is going to be Manhattan. Yeah, Manhattan versus Hampton, and I picked Manhattan to win that game. So I'm going to go with my local roots and cheer on for Manhattan. They will be winning in that first four matchup against Hampton. But unfortunately, their Cinderella story will end very early, as Kentucky's going to move on to the next round, the round of 32. So I picked Kentucky to win that game. To face Kentucky, I will pick Cincinnati to face them. They're going to win their game over Purdue. Then the next game in that round will be West Virginia moving on against Buffalo. And then facing West Virginia is going to be Valparaiso, which was my first upset, because everyone's picking Maryland. Well, I'm not picking Maryland. So Valparaiso will be moving on, facing West Virginia. Other games, Butler versus Texas. I had Butler winning that game, and of course Notre Dame. I again have them winning the national championship, so they'll be winning their game against Northeastern. Sorry. Wichita State facing Indiana. I have Wichita State on top. And then I have the Kansas beating, winning their game, getting to New Mexico State, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it's New Mexico State. So that's Midwest. That's up to the round 32. Then, of course, in the round 32, I have Kentucky beating Cincinnati. Then I have West Virginia beating Valparaiso. Butler versus Notre Dame. I have Notre Dame winning. Then I have Wichita State beating Kansas in that round. And they're heading to this, so I have them heading to that Sweet 16. Then in the Sweet 16, Kentucky will win again against West Virginia. Then I'm doing a video. My mother, folks. Sorry about that. Then I have Notre Dame beating Wichita State, and they'll be heading to the Elite Eight. And then Then I have then at the Elite Eight I have the matchup Kentucky versus Notre Dame. In the Elite Eight matchup in the Midwest, and I have Notre Dame coming out of the Midwest, beating Kentucky. Everybody's picking Kentucky to beat the national championships. Well, I don't see it happening, folks. It's not happening anytime soon. Okay? Now we're going to the East region. Number 1 seeded Villanova will be their game will beat Lafayette. What else we got? We got NC State facing LSU. I have NC State winning. Northern Iowa be facing Wyoming. Wyoming will win that game, in my opinion. Wyoming's the 12th seeded team. Then I have Louisville beating UC Irvine. Then Providence facing one of the matchups in the first 4, which I had Dayton winning over Boise State. Providence will win that game. Facing Providence will be Oklahoma. And they'll be beating Albany. Then I have Michigan State beating Georgia, and they will be facing Virginia, who will be beating Belmont in the first round. So then I have the round 32 for the East. Then I have Villanova beating NC State in the round 32. Also in the round 32, I had Louisville beating Wyoming. So those are Villanova and Louisville will be facing each other in the Sweet 16. Then I have Providence beating Oklahoma, and then Providence will be moving on to the Sweet 16. Also moving on to the Sweet 16 in the East will be Virginia beating Michigan State. And then on to the Sweet 16 matchups. According to my bracket, it says Villanova will be facing Louisville, and Villanova will be going to the Elite 8. Also going to the Elite 8 in the East region will be Providence. So Villanova and Providence will be facing in the Elite 8. And then coming out of the East region will be Villanova. So Villanova will be heading to the Final 4, in my opinion. Then you have in the West region, I have Wisconsin beating Coastal Carolina. I mean, it's in Wisconsin, they're unbelievable this year, so there's no way that Coastal Carolina's going to win that game. Facing Wisconsin in the round 32 will be Oklahoma State. It will be Oregon. I have Wofford beating Arkansas to move on to round 32. They're the 12th seed. And then I have a 13th seeded Harvard beating North Carolina. They're 4th seed. So a 12th and a 13th seed in the West region, according to my bracket, will be facing each other in the round 32. Then I have, and then of course, Xavier is going to be facing one of the first 4 matchups. I had BYU winning that game in the first 4, and in the round of 64, it will be Xavier going out on top, going to the next round. Then I have Baylor going to beat Georgia State. VCU Ohio State, I have Ohio State going on. And then I have Arizona versus Texas Southern, I believe. Is that what the team is? I think it's Texas Southern. Yes. And I have Arizona losing to Texas Southern. So that's my biggest upset so far. Arizona losing. Isn't that great? Then the round of 32, Wisconsin versus Oklahoma State. I have Wisconsin. Wofford versus Harvard. Harvard will be moving on to the Sweet 16. Xavier beating Baylor. They'll move on to the Sweet 16. Then I have Ohio State versus Texas Southern, and Texas Southern will be going on to the Sweet 16. Then in the Sweet 16, Wisconsin versus Harvard, it'll be Harvard going on. I'm picking Harvard. I'm going with the big upset so far. I'm very excited. So they'll be Wisconsin. They'll move on to the Elite 8. And then Texas Southern will be facing Xavier, and their little Cinderella story will be ending against Xavier. So Xavier will be moving on to the Elite Eight against Harvard, and Xavier will also be going to the Final Four, coming out of the West region. Then the South region. I'm surprised they don't have a North region. It's weird. I don't understand why, but it's crazy how they do stuff around here in the NCAA. But I think that I guess I'm not part of the committee or anything. So. Sorry, folks. Something came up on Twitter. I love Twitter. Twitter's awesome. Don't get it. It's dangerous though. Very dangerous. Tough blow for the Mets, huh? No Wheeler? Jeez. Gotta feel bad for them. They lost Edgens, now they don't have a lefty. Now they don't have Wheeler, so they're down a starter. Nope. It's not good. Not good. Okay, so going to the South region, I have Duke, and they're supposed to be facing Northern Florida. That's who I picked from the first four. The North Florida was supposed to be facing Robert Morris, and I picked North Florida to win that game. And then Duke will win that first round. There's no, I mean, crazy not to pick Duke. Facing Duke will be San Diego State, who will be facing St. John's in their round of 64 matchup. St. John's are going to lose, like I said, they're not going to win a tournament game. So it'll be Duke and San Diego State in the round 32. Next matchup, I have Utah facing SF Austin, and Utah will be winning that game. Georgetown versus Eastern Washington, I have Georgetown winning. SMU versus UCLA. UCLA came out as a very surprise in the selection process, but I don't trust UCLA, so I'm going to go with SMU. Then I have Iowa State and UAB. UAB. A little upset for Iowa State right there, so I'll pick in them. Iowa facing Davidson. I have Iowa winning. And then Gonzaga, like I said, I'm picking them as my national championship matchup, so they're going to go all the way through. So yeah, I think at this point you kind of know. Well, I mean, I'll still tell you the matchups leading up to that Final Four, but Gonzaga will be going to the Final Four, as I said, national championship, as a matter of fact, as I said. So in the round 32, I have Duke beating San Diego State, Utah losing to Georgetown, so Duke and Georgetown will be facing each other. SMU, UAB, I have SMU going on to the Sweet 16, facing Gonzaga, who will be beating Iowa. And then Duke will be beating Georgetown, Gonzaga beating SMU in the Sweet 16. And then in the Elite 8, I have Gonzaga beating Duke, coming out of the South. So there's your Final Four matchup, and then my national championship matchup is Notre Dame and Gonzaga. So in this case, Notre Dame will be beating Xavier, and then Villanova will be beating Gonzaga. So then the national championship, Notre Dame, Gonzaga. Sorry, Gonzaga beating Villanova. Sorry, so Gonzaga beating Villanova. Hopefully I didn't mix that up. Just making sure. Sometimes I think I say the wrong thing, but I end up doing. So it's another flaw that I have. So Notre Dame Gonzaga in the national championship game, and the winner will be Notre Dame, as I said. Final score 80-68. Final score. Notre Dame on top. They're raising their trophy. And that's my bracket, folks. So check out the Sports Insanity Hour every Monday at 4. We won't be on, unfortunately we're not on this week due to spring break, but we'll be back next week. We'll be all over the tournament. We'll also be all over baseball. Like I said, tough break for the Mets today. I mean, nothing you can really do about it. He has to get surgery for Zach Wheeler and Josh Hedgen. We'll also put on some Yankee stuff. Not so much of the unwatchable Knicks. And that's it, folks. So take care. This has been Reginald signing off.